Hello and welcome back guys to my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to use frame of motion to animate text in Next.js. So let's get started. I have already did the initial setup with Next.js, Tailwind CSS and also added frame of motion. Okay, so now we have our Next.js app running on localhost 3000. So let's create a new folder here for component. So we are going to store our animating text component inside the component folder. So let's create a new file and call it animated text word. So we're gonna do two animations. We are gonna do animation for word by word as well as by character. We're gonna see both of the animations. So let's start with the word. So I'm just gonna create a new, so let's add it here. Text word. Now we have it. So we're gonna pass in a prop called text here. So now we have it. So let's see. So let's pass in a text prop and we're gonna call it animated text with framer motion. So let's make this also small. This as well. So yeah. Okay, now we have this. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to split this text into different word. So let's do something called const words and text.split. So it will give us an array of word. Let's do that. Let's see if we get the array. Yep, we got the array for all the words. That's nice. So next thing that we're gonna do is map those words out and into a span. So let's do that. And let's take out the word from this and the index value. And let's give it a key of index. Okay, nice. So now we have that. Let's add some styling to it just to have that spacing between the words. So we're going to use a margin right. Sorry, margin right, and it's on 5 pixel margin. So now we have some spacing. Okay, so now we are getting the words. Everything is good. So let's add motion to it with framer motion. So let's do that. Framer motion. So now we've got the framer motion. So let's add motion.div and motion.div and also give it to the span to the children. Motion.span. Okay. So to animate that, there are multiple ways to animate motion from frame of motion, but in this tutorial we're going to use something called variants. So let's do that. So let's define some variants. We're going to have two variants, one for the container and one for the children. So container is the div element and the children's are the span elements. So we're gonna have two variants. One is hidden and one is visible. So we're gonna use that and let's add variant to container. And we need to pass in the prop something called initial and hidden. Initial and which initial is gonna be hidden value if I type it right. And animate is when it animates in. So we want it to be visible. So are we getting that? Yeah. So everything is getting at once from opacity to 0 to something. There's a something called dynamic variance. So we're going to use that. So, yep. So, so the reason we are using dynamic variance in here is just to stagger the children, just to stagger the span. So that's by using dynamic variance. So we can just use opacity 1 and we can transition that with stagger children 0.1 and delay 0.1. So we can stagger them with 0.2 and delay them by 0.04. These are the values that I normally use just to, it gives the nice animation to it. So let's do that. Okay, so now we have hidden and visible for the container. Okay, so now we have the variant for the container. Let's add the variant for the child. So let's define a constant for child. Let's call it. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have a visible variant where it is gonna be at the y0 position. Opacity will be 1, and let's give it a transition property as well. So it will help us in defining the type. We're gonna use spring from frame of motion, and we're gonna give it a damping of 12 and a stiffness of 100. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the visible. So let's do the hidden as well. So now let's do the hidden. If I could type it right. Again, the opacity will be 0, and y we are taking it from y20. So again thing, we're gonna give it a transition. I think it's gonna be the same thing. So let's give it same. And let's give this variance to the child of the container. And we need to define the same thing. We need to, I think, yeah, I think we're good with that. It will take the visible and hidden from the container itself, because we need to have the same property for the container as well as child. So I think let's see. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the animated words. So okay, it's not the actual animation that we want. I think it is missing some styles, so let's add those styles. So we want the overflow to be hidden in here, and we want the display to be flex for this. Display to be flex. I think then we'll be able to see the animation. Yeah, yeah. Let me increase the size a little bit. Okay, so do we have that? So let's make some font size. Okay, to be 2 rem. Yep, so let's see that. Yeah, now we have the animated words. We can play around with that. We can just make it y minus 20 and see how it comes out. It comes out that way. We can also do something called x20, sorry, x20, and make it x0 in here. So it is coming from the top right, and if we make it minus 20, yep, and if we remove the y, we'll have a totally different animation. Yeah, so we can play around with this animation and see which one you like. So we have this, and let's see, we have this. Yeah, I think this looks nice. Yep, so that is for the word animation. Let's go with the character animation. Okay, for the character animation, so I've already copied the animated text word component because the animations are kind of similar and we don't need to do much for the character animation. We just have to do is we have to split that into letters instead of words. So how we can do that is, let's go to, so it's animated text word. Let me just make it character, and just make it character here. Yep, perfect. And let's make it letters. And how we can do it is use something called array dot from. So it will, oh sorry, text. So it will convert. Okay. So yeah, it will convert the text into characters array, and then we can use that letters dot map. Yep. Now we have the letters animation. Yep. So let's refine this. Right now we don't need this style. Okay, so for rendering of the space, so this is if we have a space, we want to do something, and other than that, we just want to do a letter. Let's call it letter, and letter here as well. Okay, so let me grab a space cover for this. Yeah, this will render of the space. We have the space now, and we have the animation. Okay, so let's refine it. I use this value mostly. It gives a very nice, decent look to it. Yep, it looks nice. Okay, yeah, let's play with it a little bit and let's see how we can make it more nicer. 20 y0. Yep. Yeah, that's nice. Let's try with this. Oh, it looks. Yeah. And now I'm just playing around now. Yeah, so that's how you can create word animation and character animations with frame of motion. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please do share, like, and comment, and definitely please do subscribe